All right, good morning, Wasteland. Mr. G here, and now that the devs have finally given us all 3 dev blogs about the new Hyperborea faction coming down the pipe, I thought I would do a video simply covering all 3. We're going to look at this interesting faction. It has a very Frostpunk feel to it. You know, I dig it. Let's take a look at it. The art looks off the hook, so that's exciting. But what kind of parts are we going to be getting? And what kind of weird, cool diesel punk, Frostpunky action are we getting? Well, first of all, we've got this legendary heavy cabin thing that looks like a submarine, some sort of underwater Frostpunky thing. I dig it. So one of the cabins is perfect if you want to use drones, turrets, and quadcopters. So we're getting a cabin that's going to boost that. The cabin will consist of active and passive features. You'll be able to set a target for any drone. If you activate the perk, then damage of all drones will be greatly increased. But they will all be destroyed as soon as the perk is used up. Now, they say the form factor of this cabin is convenient. Well, let's talk about that. You know, it's got a length of 8 pins, width of 6, and height of 5. So the cockpit has cavities designed for mounting drone launching modules. That I like. I mean, look, they really did kind of create it in a manner that it fits with its purpose, which it's nice to see. I like when they make interesting shapes for parts, which forces us to build in a unique way. We're also getting a legendary light gen, so that's rad. So we've been asking for stuff like this for a while. You've often asked for a new gen, so they've given you an analog of the Apollo. So this is like a new generator that adds 4 points of energy. It's a tiny Apollo. It's way smaller. It's only 5x4x2, so that's not very big. The durability is about half, but the mass is almost 3 times less. That is awesome. This will be good for your hover builds and your tiny builds and your speed builds. Mounting it and protecting it, going to be a bit of a challenge. Structural parts. So, we got some new armor bits to go with this faction. We got to have stuff to get you make your weird, thematically cool themed builds. So those are going to be there as well. Here we can see a few more of the parts that they're teasing here in DevBlog Part 2. Take a look at these tank tracks. So these look cool. I don't know why they called them the Sleipnir. Very like Scandinavian Nordic sounding word there. So curious new movement parts. Similar to reinforced track, but it has its own features. Increased cross-country ability due to greater road clearance. So the distance between the mount and the track is a bit higher. You can hide more stuff under the frames. That's useful. Another important part is resistance to fire damage. Okay. I'd like to see more resistance to Mandrake, but, getting hit by Porcos and Mandrakes and Incinerators, this will help you out with that. Among other differences that are worth mentioning include higher speed, lower tonnage, and the mass is also going to be lower. So, a useful track. It's always nice having new movement parts, Tarjum, so please keep those coming down the pipe. They look cool as well, so I think no one's going to complain about that. We are getting a legendary MG named the No Thung. I swear they just throw Scrabble letters into a bag and pull them out when they name stuff for Crossout. So they're saying the shape of this gun is different. You can see that right away. It's very goofy looking and kind of flat mounted there. They're comparing it to the Aspect in the Vindicator. It's going to be similar to that. This weapon is demanding of the skill, because the spread of the firing process gets worse, or does it get better? We'll have to wait and see. It gives a perk of 100% damage bonus to the first 5 shots the weapon makes after being completely overheated and cooled down. So, advice, take a look at this machine gun in conjunction with the new Epic cabin, which we're going to talk about here in just a bit. More structural parts coming down, so some pauldrons, aka fenders, but they do kind of look like pauldrons. If you want to, make a Warhammer, dude, I guess you could throw those on the shoulders. Left and right Nautilus, a lot of submarine themed kind of stuff. Bulb, Captain's Bridge, definitely has like an underwater Frostpunk vibe to it. And finally, here we are in part 3. So the devs have released all of these. Let's take a look at what we're getting. Epic heavy machine gun. I gotta say the textures and all of the new weapons do look cool. This is a machine gun for people that don't like machine guns. It's the opposite of a machine gun. So why are we calling it one? Okay. This is the Gungnir. It definitely sounds Nordic. So what does it do? Like the Nothung, it's small, doesn't have a lot of height, low rate of fire, doesn't make sense for a machine gun, high one-time damage and durability. Rotates quickly, it says, and the interesting thing is the perk. It heats up, its fire rate decreases, but the spread becomes almost unnoticeable. So it gets more accurate as it shoots slower. Weird. Fairly accurate at long range. So if you don't like machine guns, this seems a little more like an autocannon. Interesting. Now here's the new epic cabin we were just talking about. So it looks tiny and interesting. It does look like a little submarine cabin. So we're kind of getting a nautical themed, situation going on. I dig it. So this is fans of heavy vehicles. We got to talk about this thing. It's the lightest, not by much, and fastest cabin of the heavy cabin. So it's a small heavy. It's got less mass and durability than the Humpback Savior or Icebox. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Lowest tonnage, lowest mass. Okay, obviously. So what does it do? Each overheated weapon used with this cabin will activate one special charge for a max of 3. Each charge will temporarily reduce the power and speed of the cabin, but will boost cooling of weapons, and the effects of several charges will stack. We recommend everyone try this cabin and a cooler in battle. Alright, so use it with weapons that have heat. It is 8x7x4. Okay, look at that. So, it should be really easy to wedge into a number of different builds. Looks like they're already dropping some CKs for this, or maybe, what are these for? Hammerhead Fish, Omnibox are getting some CKs. Fuse Drone. Looks like it's getting a CK. There you go. So, guys, that's what we know right now, and this update is scheduled for what appears to be next Tuesday. So if you're watching this video right now, this is dropping next Tuesday, so start saving your gear. I will try and make it for the live stream. We'll see how that goes. Guys, be good out there in the wasteland. Stay safe. Save your scrap. Mr. G is going to catch on the next one. Mr. G out.